Dr. Adams, welcome. Nice to see you. So given your great expertise, what's your reaction to this executive order?
Well, the recent executive order aims to significantly reduce U.S. drug prices by aligning them with the lowest prices paid for by other developed nations. This is the policy you referred to known as most favored nation pricing. It addresses the long-standing issue that Americans often pay 3 times as much for prescription medications than patients in countries that have government negotiated pricing, something else you also alluded to. These high drug prices have serious consequences for patients, something that we study at Purdue University, where I am all the time. Nearly a third of Americans report not taking their medication as prescribed due to cost, and this results in worse health outcomes and increased healthcare costs. So the most favored nation policy seeks to level the playing field by ensuring U.S. drug prices don't exceed those in other high-income countries.
You talked about those government negotiated prices, but can you drill down a little bit more and explain why the United States pays, as you were just saying, sometimes 3 times as much on prescription drugs than other countries?
Well, it's complex. The United States, being largely market driven, contributes to higher prices. So basically, the pharmaceutical companies set the price. Additionally, intermediaries like pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, and you may have heard President Trump mention this during the release yesterday of his proposal. The PBMs play a significant role in the pricing structure, often leading to a lack of transparency and further complicating efforts to reduce costs. So the most favored nation policy, it does represent a bold step towards addressing high drug prices, but its success is ultimately going to depend on the implementation and balancing the need for affordability with the preservation of incentives for pharmaceutical innovation.
Yeah, we know that's one of the big sticking points for critics is that if these pharmaceutical companies, they won't have as much money for research. Can you talk about that? And do you think that's a concern?
Well, it is true that the United States in many ways subsidizes innovation for the rest of the world. That said, this is a debate that we're going to have to see play out. Many people argue that the profits that pharmaceutical companies make and PBMs make, again, this being a market-based system, are so great that we certainly could squeeze that down some and still be able to have the same level of innovation. That said, again, the pharmaceutical companies may choose to say, well, we're just going to not invest as much in research and development, and we're going to maintain our profits for our shareholders. So again, it's a complex interplay. We'll have to see how it plays out. I do like President Trump raising this issue up as one that is important to all Americans and to access to affordable medications.
All right.
And I do also like the fact that he gave the pharmaceutical companies an opportunity to respond before giving top-down mandates.
All right, Dr. Jerome Adams, we always appreciate the time that you spend with us. Thanks for joining us today.